Yo, you
Woo!
already know. Back with another one. This is Ace of Cross Culture bringing you across time and space. Gonna get into those introductions here. My co-host, go ahead, tell them who you are.
Blah! It's your boy Tipsy Japan back with another episode of ATAS. Across Time and Space, baby. Let's go. Oh man, it feels good to be back over here in Cross Culture for episode 32. Getting grown.
Yes, man.
All right.
32.
Getting grown. We already went over that before, but now we getting in there. Getting into the upper lower 30s. Right? Getting
Upper
over
lower
there.
30.
The upper lower 30s. Yeah, buddy.
All right. So for
Feels
those
good to be back.
who may not be watching us, it may sound a little confusing because one week you hear, oh, my co-host, and then you hear me as a co-host, and the
Check it.
podcast is hosted from two separate channels.
Mhm.
So if you are listening on Spotify or Anchor, you'll be able to see in the description, there are links so that you can check us out on YouTube when it's happening live. We appreciate the live comments. We appreciate you consuming this podcast in any way, shape, or form that you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can watch it. You can listen. You can just feel. You can't smell us, but unless you can smell what TPC is cooking.
Oh,
I didn't realize that
I
till
got that smell of
recently.
vision. What?
Yeah, I didn't realize that till recently. I ain't trying to bite. Unless I'm biting off a piece of this Kuchen from Japan. As he said, we are broadcasting live from two different places, two different spaces, two different time zones. I'm in the future. It's Sunday out here. Yeah.
It's still Saturday night for me.
Saturday night.
Fever.
Mhm. No, I'm thinking of I'm thinking of JoJo. It's
JoJo?
a song.
Oh no.
Yes. Oh man, Bob Skaggs. All right, it's a reference. I'll leave a link in the description. I'll make sure he gets a link in the description. That's going across time and space right there, boy. Bob Skaggs. Yeah. It's Saturday night though. How was your week?
The week was a little crazy. So last week, my daughter came home with a letter from summer school saying that she might have come in contact with somebody who is positive for COVID-19. And we tested last week, Friday, and she had COVID-19. So just like the past week, me and my wife were negative. But it's just been a little, up and down. We're not able to give her the love that she wants, like the physical kisses and stuff like that, because we got to be safe.
Keep it distant.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're not super distant. Like, we still have her with us, but not like, the kisses is the big thing. Like, okay, no kisses. We'll give you hugs. You can be on my lap type thing, but no, not the kisses.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to figure out that myself because I will be traveling. We will be traveling across time and space back to where it all got started, hometown, this Wednesday. So I mean, Mom Dukes came in contact with COVID-19, so she had it. All right. I don't even know. She might still even have a positive thing. Is it contagious? Hope not. Lord, hope not.
I mean,
but
COVID-19 is contagious. It's only getting more contagious as time goes on, which is weird.
I mean, But I mean, we got our boosters. We got vaxxed up 2-3 times. They'll take the fourth one whenever that comes out. But that's not gonna stop us. Ain't no stopping us now. Come on.
On the move.
We on the move. Huh? Did you say we on the move? Did you say we on the move? All right.
I said it. We on the move. You already know we on the move.
Yeah, buddy. So it's gonna be a good week. Let's get into it.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely great that you're able to go back home because man, it's a long trip for you. It's
a long trip, bruh. 7 hours in Oahu Island. I have to go to Hawaii. I didn't say I want to go to Hawaii. I said I want to go home. You know, my brothers in the prayer group said, well, you're gonna have to go home. Bam, dropped it on me. Said, you going. Or go ahead and buy it first, and we got you. Boom, dropped it on me. All right. That's a testimony. As a matter of fact, in Japanese, they call it an akash. I just learned that today. Went to church. Yeah, akashi. And I went up there. I said, I have a report for everyone, but it's actually good news. You know, I wanted to be like, I mean, it could be like the gospel in a way, because it's the way that the light of the Lord is just guiding the way in my life, a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Yeah. And I went up there and I said it. I said what I needed to say. I said, you know, that there's a lot of darkness out there, and there's a storm happening. I don't know if you want to. It's a storm, literally, right now. Like, it's raining. All right. And yeah. So we're getting through it though. And it's like, it's important to have that calm. When you have that light in, you got the calm. You know, you can say to the wind, be still and chill. And you know, tell the Lord how you feel. You got to get up there and pray and let people know what God is doing in your life. Otherwise, it's like, you know, I mean, it's not why did I bless you, but look, I'm blessing you so that you can bless others. All right. Share the good news, man. That's what the whole point is, right? So I got up there and you know, I let folks know about things that have been going on in my life and about this, what God is bringing me through. He didn't say I'm not gonna have to go through it, but I will have a testimony on the other side. When I did, I got up there and I had tears in my eyes and I made my wife cry, and I apologize, you know, for moving you, but the Lord is moving us. All right, He's moving us forward. All right, so I have to let them know, and I let the whole church know, and then they came up and comforted us after, and you know, people, you know, they felt moved, and you know, they felt moved to pray too, and that's good. Like that's the point. That's why we're being blessed, you know, so that we can bless others, so that they can go and bless others and say, you know what happened with Mr. Douglas or Douglas' son, you know what God is doing in his life, and how He's making it possible for him and his wife to go see him and his mother, you know, and just at the right time, man, God is good. God is good. Hey, no. But yeah, all right. That being said, I'm not gonna, because it's bruh. I'll shine all that light. All right, you put me up on that light post or not watchtower. What do they call it? The Connecticut thing. What's the Connecticut? The symbol.
The symbol of Connecticut?
Yes, it's a lighthouse.
On the flag? No.
Lighthouse. It's on your license.
It's on my license?
Yes. Yes. It's on your license.
Nah.
Right? The Chesapeake Bay or whatever they call it.
No, not Chesapeake Bay. You mean Long Island Sound?
Mass. I'm sorry.
Long Island Sound is not even Connecticut either. But they have the license plate. They have the license plate that have Long Island Sound on it.
There's a lighthouse. There's a lighthouse in Connecticut, right?
But not on the license, though.
On the license plate.
Yeah, they have a special license plate that you can get with that. Other than that, it's just like the gradient from dark blue to white.
To white, yeah.
For anybody listening from Connecticut, we don't actually think you're corny.
No, we think you're nutmeggy.
Oh, right. No. So we have one listener who is asking if it's the Charter Oak. I'm not gonna put them on the screen until I get confirmation that we can put them up, because I know that's their government name. But yes, we're known as the Charter Oak State.
The Charter Oak is on our quarters. It's on the back of the quarter. And I actually used to drive by the Charter Oak on my way to my elementary and middle school out there in the sticks. Yeah, the Charter Oak was right there. It's a beautiful tree. It's huge. Yeah, that's
it is. It's a pretty big tree.
Mm-hmm. And it's down by a river.
The big symbol of Connecticut, and our chief export is nutmeg, or was nutmeg. I don't think
that's why we're the nutmeg state.
Like that anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said the nutmeggy. I mean, nutmeggy. They know. I love you guys. I love you guys. All right,
we're gonna jump into it. Sapiens.
Yes.
By Yuval Noah Harari.
Mm-hmm.
This week was chapter 20.
Mm-hmm.
The end of Homo sapien. last time on Dreckno. Um,
I'm
so
gonna ask you about that after you.
this chapter right here,
Hmm.
and it plays back into some stuff that you were saying before, about God. And I don't
Hmm.
want to jump into it yet because I do want to get your perspective first
Hmm.
because I kind of want to tie it all up with the things that I have to say.
Okay.
But this chapter leads into the next book so well.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
I mean, the next chapter that we have is basically like a summation, seems like. And then
That's it.
after that,
Mm.
yeah, I mean, this is the last real chapter. So, I
Yeah, yeah.
mean, are we actually going to do a podcast on chapter 21
Nah, bro.
or not? Okay.
Nah,
So, yeah,
not
this
unless the
will,
people
this
ask
will
for
lead
it.
straight into the next book.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a nice, clean, 20 chapters.
Clean
Boom.
break. It's just, yeah, that's
We've been
after
summarizing every
thoughts.
chapter. I'm gonna summarize it for them again. Yeah. Unless they, yeah, nicely.
That's what I mean. If you're listening and you want to get into the book and you want that summation for yourself, definitely, I believe it'll be worth it to
Hmm.
have that nice little bow on top. But this, like I said, this chapter does lead into the next book. It is such
Hmm.
a great transition, and I really appreciate transitions. So
Hmm.
much so that I don't want to get into my point before I get into my point. But
Okay.
the next book that we're going to be reading, and it looks like we're going to have maybe a week or two of break in between to, like kind of decompress, do a little
Yeah.
something different. And then we'll jump back into it. It's called Homo Deus by the same author. So this one is about history,
Hmm.
and the next one is about like the X-Men movie, Days of Future Past. Like
Hmm.
it's future history, which makes like no sense. But
Hmm.
I'm excited to get into it and
Okay.
definitely want to hear your thoughts on chapter 20. What do you got for me, TPC?
Oh, okay. Okay. So you want 20? Because I'm gonna make that transition. I want to make the transition from 19 into 20. Um,
Oh, okay.
I mean, the
Why
last
don't you
thing, the last
hit him
thing,
with a little review real quick?
yeah. I mean, the whole point of 19 was, this idea of they lived happily ever after. It's asking a question. Are we better for all of the technological advancement, the industrial revolution, the constant revolution that we're living with now? Are we better for that? When we say revolution, in the past, our grandparents would probably say, when I was your age, we had walked 8 miles, through a snowstorm with, a backpack that was twice our size, and all these different kind of problems that they had in terms of transportation. Boom, boom, boom. And the inconvenience of life. And now, I mean, we can honestly say in our 30s to our kids, and it's not, to our kids, to our younger generation, like people in their teens probably don't even remember a time there wasn't an internet. When I was your age, there
Oh,
was no such thing
wow.
as the internet, Yeah. I mean, if you go back to 2007, now we like people in their 20s or teens. There was a time when they were born, there was no like smartphone. All right. There was a
Oh,
time
yeah.
when people weren't walking around with a whole computer in their hand, but they didn't have the internet on them constantly.
Mm.
Uh, this is it's common sense now. All right. Next week when we fly back to the States, it's like I need a digital passport to show my vaccination history. And I just have my phone. If I can't use my phone, then I'm out of luck. Unless I walk with paper or something. Um, there's a lot of things that have changed at this point. And I guess the most fundamental thing, according to the chapter, was that um, the only thing that's consistent is that there's constant change.
Hmm.
So we've come to know that things are constantly changing. Where nothing is stable for that long. Are we better for that? Are we happier? Are the bodies that have evolved according to the book, and according to what we can see. The way that we were made or crafted by our environment over the years has been, largely a result of, our societal needs at that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that hasn't changed. Like, we are changing because of our societal needs, but like, two eyes in the front, the need for muscle, like larger, more structural things that put us together, like that. That put our society in a place and put humans in a place where they could survive in the wild. Now we're not living in a place where there's any wild to it, and we got satisfaction. There is a type of satisfaction that comes from going back to the wild or feeling that connection to nature that this new world that we're living in right now just doesn't really satisfy. So are we better for it? And that was a question that I think the author was asking, but he wasn't so like his response is that we are happier in the sense that less of us are dying, for silly reasons like
dysentery.
Dysentery, lack of vitamin C. Like, there's so many different reasons why people pass just because of that. So we're better for it without not having to live with that sickness, but we don't really think about that much. We don't think about the things that we don't have that often. And in fact, after 6 months, it's just like homeostasis. Our mood kind of returns to the normal level. So if you're just normally a happy person, even if you end up with diabetes or something like that, as long as you can manage it, you kind of go back to, I'm happy with my life, after 6 months. So, are we better for some of these changes that have happened? I think we're better off, but it's so different the way that people lived before. That's one thing that you would find throughout this book. If you go back to, 400 years ago, people are illiterate. Like, what kind of Christian were you without being able to read the word yourself? What was Christendom like?
It was
but you didn't have like a personal relationship.
Yeah, it was just like the pastor preaches and you take what the pastor says and that's it. You just trust that they're actually speaking the word of God how it needs to be spoken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's like true faith.
It's not like you heard it every day. It's not like you heard it every day, and back then, like, the mass was in Latin. And it's not like everybody was speaking Latin either.
Well, no, 400 years ago? No, not in Latin.
400. In the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church, Pop's still here in Latin.
Some portions are still in Latin, yes, but the predominant bulk of the service is not, and was not 400 years ago. Now, if you go back
600
years ago, you might have still been getting a lot of German, a lot of Latin, because it went from Latin to German, French,
Luther,
English, I think. But there's a whole lot there. So if you really want to get into theology, you want to learn French, German, and Latin, because that'll give you a very good standing of how it was translated from the original Greek and Hebrew. If you want to go really, really far back, then you learn straight the Greek and Hebrew, because that'll give you exactly the true.
Now, see, my thing is in the journey of trying to find meaning by going through all those different languages, like you're actually, something's happening inside of you. This search, this pursuit of understanding, is probably making you a better person. When you arrive now at, it's already done, you can flip open your, just touch the screen. You don't have to put in a password anymore. In fact, just look at your screen and it's there. You don't have to do any work to get the word, to get like a deeper understanding, except for just kind of pray, I guess. Does it make you happier? Is it better? You have it. It's convenient. Is it better? That's the question that chapter 19 was looking at. So
Yeah. Okay. So you have any thoughts on chapter 20 real quick?
chapter 20. Oh, give them the synopsis before I give them
I
my
mean, I gave the synopsis. I gave a little bit of, what's going on. The chapter is wrapping up. You kind of see the wrap up of history as we know it, and it's more so focused on what's happening now. I feel like this book was ahead of its time because it does
Yeah.
talk about how man is basically becoming like God, or even the author states, as an atheist, as people are atheists, are we stepping into nature's shoes? And one of the things that was talked about is genetic manipulation. So much so that, yeah, we have bioluminescent plants. It talked about specifically one case where a French scientist wanted a fluorescent green rabbit. So what they did is they took a white rabbit embryo and they put the bioluminescent gene from a jellyfish into this rabbit embryo so that the rabbit would glow green naturally. It starts talking about how the vole is a monogamous creature. So what if we took that gene and we put it into humans so that they would be monogamous and be happy, not willing to throw away the relationship that they had to go chase something else. And it's kind of crazy to think about that it's just genes, and we have the science to manipulate it, and we can change it however we want, and then we have to live with ourselves. Is this truly ethical? Is this something that we should get into? You get the idea of test tube babies back in the 90s. Like, that was a huge thing. For those who know, Dolly the sheep just had their 20th birthday, something like that. Like, that sheep is old, but it was the first sheep to be cloned. So that's where we're at, and we think about designer babies like, oh, I want my baby to have blue eyes, red hair, and freckles, and then it just happening. The doctor goes in and does what he needs to do, or she needs to do, and then boom, oh yeah, your embryo is designed specifically what you wanted, and you should be happy with that outcome. So that's a little scary. I don't have any volume from you.
The thing that everybody,
There it is.
I'm sorry, folks. I know that I'm sitting up there. I'm like, yo, let me in. I have myself muted. I apologize. The question is, because we do this to the other animals, and the afterword for this book, the animal that became God or became a god, right? So, we allow scientists to manipulate the genes of vegetables and other animals. Do we consider ourselves animals, or do we consider ourselves sacred and can't be touched? Human life is sovereign, and there's a lot of underlying conversation there. But at the end of the day, these designer babies and designer human beings, the little modifications that folks are going to have, they're going to have their modifications. People are going to find a way, but it's not going to be for everybody. It's not for the poor. I will tell you now. All right. They're not going to make it available for every single, I want to, no. It's not for everybody. So, that's another part of the conversation that we got to think about. It's not everybody that's in this kind of world that the author kind of paints, where we've already evolved out of all of the issues and the strife and the war. That was real. All right. Countries did used to fight over solid resources, not over services. And in our, American society, I think that we're, I would agree with the author, if China decided to take over California, if they decided to take over California, what exactly are they going to do with that space? You know, like it's service economy. It's intelligence. It's are they going to force people to come up with the next iPhone or something? Like, no, that doesn't work.
I mean, they don't need that push. Apple's gonna do it anyway.
They're going to do it anyway, right? It's a different type of warfare that's happening now over the rights to different things, and yeah. So, but that's not the reality for everywhere. There's a large part of humanity that's still 100 years back, and the more that we allow ourselves to ignore the gap, is the more likely that we're going to see something catastrophic.
Yeah. I mean, what it comes down to is the fact that as long as people are unhappy, it goes back to what you were saying. They live happily ever after, and it has to do with the family unit and where we see ourselves in that family unit. But even now, how many emails do you get about, oh yeah, if you do this, you can lose weight, or oh yeah, if you do this, then you can be stronger. There's this little kind of nagging in us, like I could be better. So the chapter also talks about bionics, and how, I mean, for amputees, it's almost necessary. But it talks about
it always starts that way. It always starts
mind control, mind controlled limbs, and that's like you said, it does always start that way, because if you can say that it's for a medical need or for a need for somebody who cannot, a differently able person, you will get the funding to do the research to come up with a prototype, and then you can sell it to everybody.
Once that pool is exhausted, right? All the amputees, all right, they're done. So the technology still exists. Well, why can we have access to that? No, it's only for amputees. Oh, why? Why should you discriminate against us?
We have money.
The cat's out of the bag. There's the money. Here, please help. Let I haven't lost the limb yet. I'm on the way to losing it. Or when I do, can I? How about before I do?
Before I do, yeah. I mean, because like I said, it's the whole experiment with the was it a chimpanzee that could mind control? They implanted a chip so that the chimpanzee would be able to use both, had two arms, but could mind control another one clear across the country. Like little stuff like this. Think about it. Maintenance of the International Space Station could be done by engineers on Earth, just like
yeah. All right, you don't want to. I asked my kids, and I don't mean to say this at the last moment, but I asked my kids, how many of you want to? Are you a cyborg? Because cyborg part human, or a human that extends their abilities through technology. Yeah, I'm a cyborg. No, I don't want to be a cyborg. Okay, would you mind getting a mechanical part or a robotic part to allow yourself to do more than you could right now? Yes, about half, a third. Yeah, I want that eye. Yeah, I want that nose, or I want that ear that can hear everything. And then
we're talking about the singularity, where we're going to be able to upload our consciousness and just never die, but it comes down to people want to live forever. They want parts that are indestructible. They want to know that their legacy is going to be, standing. But there's only one way to do it. You can't build up your treasures here on Earth. This Earth is very temporal. There will come a time where there'll be no more space here. That's it. But you got to look to higher power.
Before then, What's up? Go ahead and get yourself a pen, a pad. Write it down.
Write it down.
Right, hit that subscribe button before your time is up.
It's been Ace from Cross Culture. You already know.
It's your boy.
Until
TP
next
Stevens,
time,
man.
stay prayed up. Be blessed.
Yes, saya. Yes, saya. Oh no, I'm already prayed up and blessed. All right. They got their pen, their pad, because that's what it is. All right, we all good.
All right. Until next time. Peace.